Let's try this again. Welcome, everyone. The procession for the 170th commencement at Tufts University is about to begin. If you could please take your seat. I have a couple of housekeeping items before we begin. In the unlikely event that there is an activation of the emergency alarm, all occupants should leave the building through the exits. We have an exit through the front door in which you came in, and we have one exit here out the back. We ask that if we do need to exit the building, you please move away from the building, and we're going to congregate on Boston Ave, which is this side of the building, down on the sidewalk. Finally, for public safety reasons, we are asking that no phones or photos be used during the ceremony. Tufts is recording today's ceremony. There will be a professional photographer today who will be taking each graduate's handshake and hooding photo. Everyone is asked to please keep the aisles clear so as not to block the photographer. The recording and photographs will be available to all students after commencement. Thank you. Students, faculty, you may be seated. My name is Jessica Harney. I am the chair and director of the entry-level OTD program in the Department of Occupational Therapy, also known as the historic Boston School of Occupational Therapy. It is my honor to welcome you to the 170th commencement at Tufts University. The commencement ceremony for Tufts University Graduate School of Arts and Sciences, Department of Occupational Therapy will now come to order. Welcome, Department of Occupational Therapy students, faculty, staff, families, and friends. I am delighted to bring us together to honor this incredible group of graduating students. It is my great pleasure to introduce Danilo Marquesny, Dean of Research for the School of Arts and Sciences and the Leonard James Holm Bernstein Professor in the School of Arts and Sciences, who will now address us today.
morning, graduates, families, faculty, staff, and friends. It is with immense joy and pride that I congratulate each one of you. Today represents an incredible achievement in your journey, a day of great celebration. In every Phase 2 commencement ceremony at Tufts, it is tradition for a dean to offer a few words of wisdom. Before we go any farther, let's take a moment to recognize the people who helped make this day possible. The staff and teams who work behind the scenes, the professors and advisors who guided you, and most importantly, the friends and family members who supported you along the way. Take the time today to thank them, hug them, and let them know how important they have been. I should probably continue with a confession. I'm an astronomer, investigating far, far away galaxies made of hundreds of billions of stars, and I'm looking back in time billions of years. In other words, I don't know much about occupational therapy. However, what I do know is that occupational therapy plays a vital role at NASA in ensuring the health and performance of astronauts. Occupational therapists help astronauts not just survive, but thrive even in zero gravity. Astronomy studies extreme or unusual environments, and occupational therapy helps humans adapt to and perform in some of those extreme environments. But most importantly, I very much know how hard you have worked to get to this point. I do know the many sacrifices you have made to come this far, burning the midnight oil way too often to prepare exams, to complete papers, frequently feeling exhausted for the long clinical hours, and sometimes even finding yourself questioning whether you have made the right choice. But despite all of this, you have made it. You are here. Congratulations. This is why I am so proud of you, and this is why your professors, family, and friends are so proud of you. One of my favorite quotes is by French author and 1947 Nobel Prize in Literature, André Gide, who said, quote, "We cannot discover new oceans unless we have the courage to lose sight of the shore," end quote. In other words, true growth requires us to leave our comfort zones. It requires us taking risks, embracing uncertainty, and challenging ourselves. You are here today because you have done exactly so over the many few years. You have learned a lot over the past few years. Among those things, you have learned how to ask questions, how to assess and solve problems they don't have easy solutions. You have learned how to communicate and advocate, not just for yourself, but also for others who depend on your care. You have learned to appreciate what you don't know and how to fill that gap. You have learned that the boundary of knowledge is always changing and that it is your responsibility to ensure it never stops growing. Not only, quoting Mahatma Gandhi, you must be the change you wish to see in the world, end quote, but you now have the intellectual and technical skills to be truly impactful. We are now in a world that demands creative thinking, collaboration, and a fierce commitment to serving our global community. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, and you have the capacity to make a profound difference. Let us commit to lifting each other up, breaking down barriers, and leading with both our intellect and our humanity. Today is your day. Today you are the stars, and we are here to celebrate you. It may sound obvious, but I really want you to enjoy every minute of today, to really savor it, take it all in, okay? Wait until tomorrow to start thinking about the next chapter of your life. Congratulations on everything you have achieved. I am so excited to see the remarkable contributions you will make, and the future is truly bright with your potential. And I'm confident you will carry forward the values and insights gained here at Tufts. So, well done, class of 2026.
Thank you so much, and I also saw opportunity for OT at NASA and a capstone project. Right, Bren? Make a note now. We'll be emailing you. Now I would like to introduce members of our faculty who are here today so we can thank them as we honor our students. Dr. Nancy Baker, Dr. Heather Gilbert, Dr. Peggy Morris, Dr. Ryan Whitney, Dr. Bryn Speroni, Dr. Amber Lamarca, Dr. Augusta Palamas, Dr. Chloe Witt, Emeritus Faculty Linda Tickledegnan. I should say Dr. Linda Tickledegnan. Jennifer Buxton. And flew all the way in last night, Dr. Meredith Grinnell. Today, as most things in our department, would never be possible without the incredible help of our staff. And to know that we have been down 2 staff positions through the busiest time of year for us would not be noticed because of the work of Uma Patel, our Senior Department Administrator, and Dr. Jill Rocca, our Recruitment and Admissions Coordinator for the Department of Occupational Therapy. Thank you for your help. Thank you also to our first and second year student ushers who are here experiencing commencement ahead of time and helping move things along. So thank you for all of your work too. Fred Rogers once said, "Often when you think that you're at the end of something, you're at the beginning of something else." Today we are recognizing the professional legacy, achievements, and retirement of our esteemed colleague, Dr. Nancy Baker, and celebrating her new beginnings beyond academia. Dr. Nancy Baker has made a profound impact on the field of occupational therapy through her commitment to innovation, evidence-based practice, and the advancement of human participation in everyday life. She exemplifies the integration of scholarship, clinical relevance, and innovative practice. For me to go through all of the professional accolades would extend us beyond our time that we can be in Breed Hall today, so I've chosen just a few to share with you. Prior to coming to Tufts University, Nancy was on the faculty of the University of Pittsburgh for 18 years before joining us here. She was the associate editor of an OT journal, Occupation, Participation, and Health. She was an American Occupational Therapy Foundation Board of Trustees member and was presented several awards in her career from the foundation. Nancy has been published over 50 times, probably closer to 100, but I stopped counting, authored numerous book chapters, and has her own book coming soon. She was appointed chair of the Department of Occupational Therapy at Tufts from 2020 to 2023, helping to guide us through higher education in a pandemic. Her work has reflected the true spirit of occupational therapy, helping individuals engage in meaningful occupations despite pain, disability, and environmental barriers. Nancy's research in musculoskeletal disorders, ergonomics, chronic pain, and carpal tunnel syndrome has contributed significantly to improving both prevention and treatment strategies for people whose daily lives and work are affected by physical limitations. And she has explored innovative, engaging, and emerging technologies like immersive virtual reality as a therapeutic tool for chronic pain management, mentoring many of our OTD students. Nancy's career serves as a reminder that occupational therapy is not only about restoring function, but also about enabling people to live meaningful, engaged, and dignified lives. Dr. Nancy Baker is an amazing faculty mentor for our students and a leader for us all as healthcare professionals. And I need to mention that above all of that, she is a wife, she's a mom whose daughter is getting married in just a short few days, a traveler and a guru of all things miniature golf. Ask her later. But we still can't get her to go on a roller coaster with us. Nancy, this is the start of a new chapter, one in which we will still be able to text you and email you all of our research questions and statistical analysis. We've reserved that right without asking you. We will miss you, and we thank you for all that you've done for the Department of Occupational Therapy. Nancy, please stand and be recognized. Okay, that's enough before she yells at me. Each year, the students select one speaker to address their cohort of graduates. Ruan, please come forward.
Hi everyone. I'm going to lower this because I'm short. Hi everyone, it's so nice to be here and reunite with all of you today, from faculty to families to friends, and of course this cohort in front of me. For those I haven't met, my name is Ruan, and I'm really humbled to stand here and share this stage with the lovely people around me here. And before I take you into deep reflection, because my classmates know we've had to do way too many of those, I want to start with a few moments that capture not just the chaos of our cohort, but the community we built within it. For those who don't know, I'm originally from California, so moving to Massachusetts was uncharted territory. No family, no friends, no real sense of place, just a hope to pursue something I loved, and honestly, a quiet prayer that I would find community. Maybe you felt that too. Maybe not across the country, but stepping into something new, trying to figure out where you belong, hoping someone or something would meet you there. And somewhere along the way, I found pieces of that here during moments with this cohort and this program. So while I could stand here and share my story, it felt more meaningful to speak to the experiences of the people here on this stage before you and who you are here to support today. So as any doctoral student would do, I created a Google Forms survey. I'm glad you laughed because I put, "This is supposed to be humorous, I hope they laugh." From the survey, they shared important things that they wanted to share with you all, so here are some of the highlights. First, if you asked us to describe our cohort, we'd probably say, it depends. We were collaborative and chaotic, resilient but stretched, low-key until we all showed up and dressed up as minions on Halloween. But underneath all of that, we were consistent in one thing. We built community in the everyday moments, in big ways and in small ones, from the shared rides to fieldwork or 200 Boston Avenue, to shared study guides and anatomy diagrams at cafe sessions, to tangerines and Dunkin' Donuts that we brought for each other at the beginning of class, or the encouragement we sent to each other in the moments we needed it most, especially the ones where we felt over-reflected after discussions. These instances give a glimpse into what we learned and experienced here. Not just how to take up space, but how to make space for those around us, and how to invite others into it. But beyond me and my classmates, moments of community were also seen in our classroom, room 201. Whether it was Bryn, Janet, Jess, Jen, or Meredith making learning fun through humor and realness, but still somehow deeply meaningful. Nancy letting us play virtual reality games in between classes. Trust me, this was for research purposes. Mary Barnes teaching us that you can make anything out of chenille stems, better known as pipe cleaners. Heather, Peggy, and Ryan being a grounding emotional support while constantly pushing us to advocate for mental health, for ourselves, and for communities that are often misunderstood. Or Sarah Skeels, letting us put pictures of our pets on slides because somehow Kendall's rabbit Meatloaf, Hannah's pug Frankie, and Sabrina's dog Swiffer really did give us the will to get through it all. All while also challenge us to think deeper, care more, and see the world differently. While these moments won't show up on a resume, they did shape who we are becoming. And in those instances of moving through this program together, I started to understand how much of OT is actually about attention. How you show up with people, how you listen, how you notice what might otherwise might be missed, and then take a space and turn it into somewhere people feel like they belong. And those collective moments prepared me for specific fieldwork experiences last year. In a cooking group at a shelter I was working at last summer, in the humid, sticky heat of lower Manhattan, a person that came to group regularly shared that he panhandled on the street every day. And at first, it would have been easy to assume why. But as we stood side by side, cutting fruit, talking about music, because my playlist and updating it was clearly overdue, he told me something I haven't forgotten. He said, and I quote, "I don't panhandle because I need the money. I do it to keep myself out of trouble." And by trouble, he meant substance use. And in that moment, it shifted everything. Because for him, panhandling wasn't what it looked like on the surface. It was structure, it was a strategy, it was what helped him get through the day. And I think that captures one of the most important things we've learned as future occupational therapists. To look beyond the label of an occupation, such as panhandling, and see the meaning underneath it. To recognize that what might not make sense to us might be the very thing helping someone stay safe, stay grounded, and keep going. So as we step into this profession, I hope that's something we can carry with us. The ability to pause before we assume, to stay curious instead of judgmental, and to meet people where they are. Because at the core of occupational therapy are relationships, real human ones. And those relationships aren't just a starting point, they are the work. They're what allow us to understand people deeply enough to actually support them. And I think that's what this profession asks of us, to have compassion that is not complacent. One that doesn't stop at understanding, but leads us as a community to rise, respond, and empower people to live lives that they want to live. Because that's honestly what the world needs more of right now. So I want to end with something that keeps me grounded in that. As a Filipino American, there's a phrase I hold close, isang bagsak. This phrase translates to, when one of us falls, we all fall, and when one of us rises, we all rise. That being said, I can't complete this speech without thanking the people that helped each of us rise and get to this moment. So to our families and loved ones, thank you. For the meals during exam weeks, for letting us practice transfers and manual muscle testing on you, for reminding us who we are when school felt all-consuming. We didn't get here alone. It took a community. We rose because of each other. We became who we are alongside each other, and because of you. So what we built here doesn't end today, nor does it stay in this room. It moves with us into hospitals, schools, shelters, communities, and I'm excited to see all the communities you'll create in your professional journey. So congratulations, class of 2026. The field of occupational therapy is so lucky to have you in it. Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. And now I would like to introduce our distinguished member of the faculty who the cohort has chosen to be their speaker today, Dr. Bryn Speroni, doctoral capstone coordinator and faculty member in the department.
Good morning, maybe afternoon at this point, and congratulations to the Tufts University entry-level occupational therapy doctorate and post-professional master's classes of 2026. It is my great honor to speak to you today, although I am still not sure that the students didn't elect me as payback for making them present to all of their family members on Friday at Capstone Showcase. So my name is Bryn Speroni. I'm an assistant teaching professor and the doctoral capstone coordinator in the Occupational Therapy department here at Tufts University. To the support systems here today, I hope that hearing my name brings a pleasant sense of recognition from stories that your student has shared over the past few years. And if your reaction is more along the lines of, oof, I've heard that name a lot, please just nod along and smile, just like I'm sure some of the students have probably done many times over the past few years as I spoke. When I met the entry-level class of 2026, I was beginning my second year as a full-time faculty member. I'd love to say that I had already worked out all the embarrassing teaching moments by then, but this class definitely knows better. During the 2024-2025 academic year, we spent a lot of time together. You had me for 4 total classes, about 6 hours a week, all year long. In that time, we learned each other's occupational profiles, likely evaluated each other's strengths and areas of need, and established a rapport that I do genuinely value. However, that year was actually not the easiest for me. I was adjusting to a new career, I was finishing my post-professional doctorate, and I was navigating some personal loss at home. But through all of it, I never once thought, I don't want to go to work. Being with all of you brought me the joy that I needed. You were open to learning, you were willing to try hard things, you were kind, funny, and gracious. You not only laughed with me, you laughed at me, which I needed. Last year, you also became part of the most impactful transition of my life as you watched me prepare for motherhood. Phoebe was truly my backup ride to the hospital if I went into labor during class. Ash nearly convinced me to name my daughter after her. And Julia made the cutest little baby shoes that we still have on display in our nursery today. And this year, during DEC seminar, so many of you continued to ask about my daughter and my dog Eve, and about how I was adjusting to being a working mom. So please don't think for a moment that I will forget you. You are a part of my story now. But today is really about the story each of you has been building for years. Commencement is not the beginning of your story in occupational therapy. For some of you, that journey began 3 years ago when you chose this profession. For others, it began years earlier, sometimes in other countries, and continued here as a commitment to deepen your knowledge, expand your perspective, and engage in the ever-evolving possibilities of this profession. Today is a celebration of those choices and of the hard work, resilience, and growth that brought you here. It is also a moment to recognize the people who supported you along the way. None of us arrive at milestones like this alone, and you would not be sitting here today without the love, encouragement, and support of your family, friends, faculty, and your peers. Today does, however, mark an important transition from student to practitioner. But the truth is, in this profession, as our master's students can definitely attest to, you never stop being a student. This profession will continuously ask you to grow, not only through research, mentorship, and experience, but through the people we serve. Our clients are the experts of their own lives, experiences, and goals, and the best practitioners never stop listening and learning for them. As you move from student to practitioner, I hope you hold on to that curiosity. Stay curious about the people in front of you, about the stories that you haven't heard yet, and about the many ways a meaningful life can look different from your own. At the heart of it, most of us chose this profession because we wanted to help someone in some way. We were drawn to the possibility of making a difference. One thing I can say with certainty, and not it depends, is that there will absolutely be many moments that remind you why you chose this path. You will witness progress daily. You will watch clients overcome fears, reach goals they once thought were out of reach, and return to the occupations that give their lives meanings. There are few professions that allow you to witness human resilience as closely as this one. But you are also entering a profession that carries real pressure. You will feel the pressure to move faster, to discharge sooner, and to solve problems that do not have easy solutions. You will sit with clients and families who are hoping for outcomes that may feel impossible in that moment. And often, you will meet people during one of the hardest chapters of their lives, when routines and occupations that once grounded them suddenly feel difficult, unfamiliar, or out of reach. Your role is not simply to help people do things again. It is to help them adapt, rebuild, and renegotiate who they are in face of change. And that work is harder than it sounds, because progress in occupational therapy is often quiet. It rarely looks like a dramatic breakthrough with applause echoing through the therapy gym as if you and your client are playing to the fans at Fenway. More often, it looks small from the outside, buttoning a shirt independently for the first time, standing at the sink 5 seconds longer than yesterday, or deciding to try again after wanting to give up. You will need patience for that kind of progress and respect for it. As you begin this next chapter, I hope you remember this on the difficult days. The impact you will have may not always be loud or visible, but it will be real. Whether you arrived at this moment after 3 years together as a cohort or returned to graduate education as experienced professionals committed to continued growth, each of you made the choice to keep learning, evolving, and showing up for others through this profession. Be proud of what you accomplished here at Tufts University. But even more than that, be proud of the clinicians, colleagues, and the people that you are becoming. It has been an absolute privilege to watch you grow, and I will miss you. So, I would like to end this with the words of my fellow New Englander, the immensely loved by Gen Z, this cohort in particular, and my millennial self, Noah Kahn. So pack up your car, put a hand on your heart, say whatever you feel, be whoever you are. We ain't angry at you, love. You're the greatest thing we've lost. And we will all be here forever, figuratively. You're gonna go far. Yes, you are. You're gonna go far. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Thank you, Ruan and Bryn, for your words of wisdom and inspiration. I really thought that Bryn would sing it out, like get in on it. Yeah, I thought it would happen. Now it is my privilege to recognize this year's award recipients. The first award is the Beckenstein Family Endowment. The Beckenstein Family Endowment was established in 2005 by Anita and Josh Beckenstein. The scholarship is awarded to students based on academic standing and a demonstration of trajectory for leadership in the profession. Would the students who received a Beckenstein Award during their time in the department please rise and be recognized? Congratulations. The Virginia Audi Nedved Cook Endowed Student Research Fund was established in 2011 to strengthen collaborative research conducted by occupational therapy students. It provides funding for interdisciplinary research and doctoral projects. Students must have IRB approval for their project prior to eligibility for this grant award. Would the students who received the Nedved Cook Award please rise and be recognized? Congratulations. Marjorie B. Green, one of the founders of the Boston School of Occupational Therapy in 1918, was a pioneer in occupational therapy and a leader in the state and national OT organizations. This award is given to an occupational therapy student who has demonstrated outstanding achievement in the areas of leadership and involvement in student and professional activities. Ruan Kodapeng, this is this year's recipient. Please rise and be recognized. Congratulations. The Helen D. Smith Endowed Scholarship was established in memory of Helen D. Smith, commemorating her many years of dedicated and compassionate service to the Tufts community as a professor of occupational therapy. The fund has provided financial aid to a doctoral student in the Department of Occupational Therapy. She should have stayed standing. Ruan, please stand and be recognized as this cohort's recipient. Congratulations. All right, it's time. Take a deep breath, embrace the moment, okay? We will now recognize candidates for the second degree in Arts and Sciences, our post-professional master's students who are earning a Master's of Science degree in Occupational Therapy. Can you please stand and head back? Will the faculty please rise and stand in place? Dr. Morris, Post-Professional Program Director, will step forward. Our post-professional master's students are internationally trained occupational therapists with bachelor's degrees. They come from across the world to our program to complete their master's degree in order to sit for the U.S. OT Competency Board exam. Christine Liana V. Alunan. Ingrid Pinto. Congratulations to both of you. We look forward to continuing to work, hopefully, with both of you in your coming years and maybe another degree. The next candidates are our entry-level Doctor of Occupational Therapy students. These students have completed all the necessary academic, fieldwork, and doctoral capstone requirements to receive their doctoral hood. Today's students will be hooded by their doctoral capstone faculty mentors. Will our entry-level OTD students in the first row please head back?
Family and friends here, I will call your graduate's name and also the title of their doctoral project, so you might want to hang on to your applause till after I finish the titles. All right? Sounds good. Dr. Nancy Baker's entry-level doctoral students will now be recognized. Ruan Katapang, be the boss of your bowel and bladder, B&B, inpatient rehabilitation B&B program development. In the middle, put her in the middle. There we go. There we go. Ashley Lowe, ergonomic education for musculoskeletal disorder prevention in dental students and professionals. Andrew Peng Wilford, virtual reality implementation at Encompass Health, Braintree. Madeline Grace Zaro, virtual reality nature therapy for chronic musculoskeletal pain, a pilot study. Dr. Mary Barnes, entry-level doctoral students will now be recognized. Daniel Fortier, moving through art, using visual arts and dance to enhance human interaction skills in occupational therapy students. Natasha Harianto, supporting self-determination and vocational identity development with neurodiverse adults at 3L Place. Dr. Barnes will be joined by Dr. Tickle Degnan. Phoebe Moulin, creation, implementation, and evaluation of a fall prevention training for Tufts entry-level occupational therapy doctoral students. Jennifer Buxton's entry-level doctoral students will now be recognized. Justine Gregg, wheelchair positioning in the geriatric population, supporting resident care through staff training and equipment management. Dr. Heather Gilbert's entry-level doctoral students will now be recognized. Sabrina Caruso, vocational rehabilitation in supporting active treatment engagement for long-term hospitalization. Catherine Kaufman, needs assessment in forensic pact, exploring opportunities for OT support. You've got a fan club. Kate McKernan, promoting physical wellness for individuals receiving inpatient psychiatric treatment, meaningful engagement with exercise through an occupational therapy lens. Dr. Meredith Grinnell's entry-level doctoral students will now be recognized. Lydia Lewis, Melodies of the Mind, exploring music participation, cognition, and quality of life in Parkinson's disease. Jackson Miller, revision and study of the Professional Development Monitor.
Dr. Margaret, aka Peggy Morris's entry-level doctoral students will now be recognized. Hannah Pliskin, mindfulness for occupational therapy students. Xenia Michaela Prostakis Ortiz, learning in between, promoting smooth transitions in Head Start classrooms at Greater Lawrence Community Action Center. Dr. Augusta Polemis's entry-level doctoral students will now be recognized. Samantha Dubrow, trauma-informed emotional recognition and regulation program development for grade 9 Kenyan learners. Dr. Bryn Speroni will also be recognizing Dr. Miranda Fox, Dr. Jay McLaren, Dr. Megan Mueller, Dr. Caitlin Irwin, and Dr. Mary Galuzzo, who could not be here with us today while Dr. Speroni is standing here. First up, Dr. Speroni's student Julia Janine Angel, implementing the action over inertia approach at a community-based residential recovery program for women with substance use and co-occurring disorders. Dr. Speroni will be hooding for Miranda Fox's students, Chloe Chapman, facilitators and barriers to self-advocacy for adult pediatric tumor survivors. Dr. Jay McLaren will now be recognized by Dr. Bryn Speroni. Alex Feldman, evaluation of an implementation manual, stakeholder perspectives on a storytelling intervention for race and diversity, conversations in the healthcare field. Rebecca Lovett, evaluation of assistive feeding devices in people with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as ALS, a case series. Riley Magoon, Occupational Therapy Services in Higher Education, a feasibility study for Tufts University. Lydia Rice was mentored by Megan Mueller. Aging in Place with Pets, a program evaluation. Lauren Russell was mentored by Dr. Caitlin Irwin. Self-regulation in children ages 5 to 7 at Elliott Pearson's Children's School. Kendall Smith was mentored by Dr. Mary Galuzzo, who's a brand new mom and at home with her baby, empowering caregivers to promote water safety for children with differences, bridging program gaps with the Sunfish Method. Dr. Ryan Whitney's entry-level doctoral students will now be recognized. Alyssa Belcastro, Accessibility at Arlington Recreation Kid Care. Faculty, you may be seated. It is with great pleasure that we celebrate the accomplishments of all of our students. Thank you to all of our occupational therapy family, the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences, and Tufts University, who makes the Department of Occupational Therapy such a wonderful place to learn, teach, and engage in research and scholarship. It is now time to conclude the department's commencement event. Congratulations to all of our graduates. Let's give them one last round of applause. Please be seated. On behalf of the department, I would like to invite you to a reception in the honor of our graduates just outside of Breed Hall. Please allow the platform party to leave the room first, followed by graduates and then the audience. Thank you all for joining us today here at Tufts University. Congratulations.